Okay, I had something else to share. This is something that I've noticed for a while. It's like reflections off of things. Like I really notice reflections, and I'm just gonna tell you what I did, and then help you recreate that so you can try it out. So I have this bracelet, right? Any reflection. I mean, this is the bracelet that I had on. I have this on as well. It's any reflection at all. Okay. So this is what I did. I'll just show you what I did. So I have the sunlight, and it's like reflecting off of this bracelet, right? I get really, really close, and at this point, you can't actually focus. Like when you're this close, it's like super difficult to actually focus on the bracelets. It's actually difficult to focus on anything. So it's like when you don't focus at all, what you see is like when you get real, real close, you see like these circles, right? Like close one eye. Well, do you have to do that? Well, no, you don't even have to close one eye. You don't have to close an eye at all. Whoa. Well, you can close an eye or you cannot close an eye. Okay? But like when you look at the when you get closer to like this, and you get close enough, you see circles, okay, where these reflections are. You see little circles all over the place, and they all look the same. They all look like the same reflection. And I talked about in a previous video about how like I can look at light. I can look at like street lights like that from like say far away, and I can actually I go cross-eyed. I try to make myself go cross-eyed, and it's like I see like the same structure, or it seems like the same structure from far away. And when I go cross-eyed, it creates two, and then it's like I can focus on one with one eyeball or one with the other eyeball, and then it's like I can literally like zoom into that one, okay? But this is a much easier way of doing it if you don't like going cross-eyed, is like yeah, you anything that looks like it's reflecting sun, just get as close. Like I can do it just like this, all right, with the light. You just get close. I mean, you don't even have to close your eyeballs. And when you get close enough, don't try to just, I mean, you can, this is interesting. Wow, actually, you can either try to focus like on something far away, or you can try to focus on the actual, I want to call them cellmates. I don't know, I keep wanting to call them cell bodies or cellmates. And it's like, you know, either way, the closer you get, the easier you can see. When I get super duper close, it looks like a microscope. Like your eyeball is literally a microscope, because the first thing I think of is like a petri dish and like zooming in. And what I'm looking at, it's like, and when you blink, like if you're looking at, it looks like circles, like a lot of little circles. And it's like every time I blink, I see like stuff move. Stuff move like past and through these circles, okay? And every time I blink, I'm trying to stay still here, and every time I blink, it's like, you know, I can actually see just like a microscope. Like your eyeballs are literally a microscope. You can see light from far away, and you can go cross-eyed and explode it. Like just like the stars. If you look at the stars, like find the brightest star in the sky and look at it and go cross-eyed. Go cross-eyed, and it's like you literally take that star and you explode the picture. You explode the reflection is what I'm thinking, because every time I do that, whether it's with streetlights or it's like any reflection at all, or cars, like cars passing by, I can do the same thing with their headlights. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, okay? Any reflection, any light, any reflection is it shows me the same, like when I go cross-eyed from something far away, then it's like I explode the picture and I can look at it. But a much easier way to do it is like taking something like a smaller reflection and getting really, really, really close with light, and just get super close, and you don't even have to focus like when I try to look at the screen and then I look at like what's in front of me, it actually zooms in even more, just like a microscope. It's like the coolest thing ever. I mean, literally, we're mini microscopes, you know. And I think about I think about like these people in the past, and they're like, you know, that how did they know where to build Stonehenge, and how did they know how to build these certain locations, and how did they know that certain things were located in certain places? Like, how did they know that from where they were? They didn't have planes, they didn't have you know, microscopes or telescopes or anything like that. And I'm like, you know what? When I really think about it, when I investigate these things for myself and I play with my own eyeballs, I'm realizing that, you know, I think that's the secret. Like a secret is that like they trusted their own bodies, and they probably did the same thing that I did. Is they were like, well, what's the deal here? And it probably happened like completely naturally, just like this is for me. And you know, I can take something far away and explode it and say, oh, okay, that's what that looks like. And then I can take something really, really small, like, you know, the cosmos and the methodical movement of larger bodies, and then like quantum physics, something super duper small, like micro, macro, and I can zoom in right here, and I don't even have to try. All I had to do is put it closer to my eyeball, and I literally look like I'm looking through a microscope. And every time I blink, I see something totally different. I see something like move around, and it's just like a microscope. It's the coolest thing ever. So I really wanted to share that because it doesn't have to be anything specific. It's any reflection. You know what I mean? This just happened to be on my wrist, and I saw it, and I decided to get closer to it. And then I realized another big truth. In fact, you know what? I'm figuring something else out as well. Whoa. Okay, so my hand is kind of glistening, like my actual skin on my body with the sun. And then when I get closer to that, I can see faintly the same reflection. I can see the same circle, the same microscopic circle like you would see in a petri dish if you were using a microscope. And these are things that you can do easily. Anybody can do this. You just got to get closer to it, and yet, you know, I guess you got to be able to see. Yeah. So try that out. It's really, really cool. I mean, I'm not really exactly sure what I'm looking at. I guess because they all look the same, which is even more intriguing to me, is the fact that they all look the same. Like no matter whether or not I'm exploding it from something far away by going cross-eyed, or whether I'm looking at something like this. Basically, it all looks the same. Although, yeah, I don't know. I think that's how people did that. Yeah. I think this is how people did it. They just explored the world around them, and they were like, well, what's this? What's going on here? And then they just investigated it because that was all. These were the tools they had, was just their bodies and whatever was around them. And then they checked it out, and they're like, "Oh, check this out," you know. And it was like common knowledge because it's like a simple reflection that's absolutely everywhere. So yeah, I guess try that out and see what you find. Maybe you see something different. I mean, I don't know. Seems like everything that I see looks the same, but you never know. So. Thanks for watching.